All right, welcome, folks. Mil-Spec Ops Monkey here. This is going to be a Monkey Minute for Sunday, 3/27/22. And so, without further ado, let's hop over the board. Today, we're just going to talk about some of the things going on around the world that we probably should all be cognizant of, that the mainstream media is probably not going to be pushing out in front of us. And so, without further ado, let's talk about that. So, first up, we're just going to talk about China. They appear to be very well stocked for the food shortage that is coming. We read probably about 3 or 4 months ago that China was actually in the hoarding mode, and so it looks like they were successful in doing so. They've hedged themselves, and it looks like U.S. is going to be the ones caught short here, and probably Europe. But this is a very interesting data point. If you look. In 2022, China accumulated about 69% of the world's corn reserves, 60% of its rice, and 51% of its wheat. Now think about that. That is the world's food source. Not China's, but the world's. So they are sitting on a lion's share of food to help get them through this little bit of a crisis that is coming. I say a little bit. It's probably going to be ongoing. Typically doesn't get better. People just die off, and it reduces the need for food in and of itself. So, okay, now here's the other thing, too, I want to point out. We've been talking about this for quite some time as I show you the airplanes that fly overhead and how they are data collecting. This is just another reiteration of DHS collecting Americans' financial records in bulk. This is from Senator Wyden, who brought this up yet again, and they don't seem to really care. They're moving on with their programs, and this is part of a DHS financial surveillance program. So just a data point, but like I said, this is just one of many things they've been collecting, and they don't really care whether or not they're breaking laws. They're just doing it. So this is what happens when you have a rogue administration. All right, now let's get over here to one that is kind of sad and kind of eye-opening at the same time. It's very wild. A shocking bird mass die-off in Antarctica. They said that if you go back about 10 years, there were 400,000 of these birds. And then in 2020, which is just 2 years ago, they were down to 100,000. And then now they're at zero in 2 years. They went from 100,000 birds up there to zero, basically due to food and weather conditions. And so, but that is crazy to go from in 1984, 400,000 birds down to zero by 2022. Incredible and sad. Now, speaking of sad, this gentleman here, Gavin Newsom, makes abortion free in California. He's just pushed through legislation that'll help ensure equitable, affordable access to abortion services so that out-of-pocket costs don't stand in the way of anyone receiving, and I say care. I don't know how killing a baby has anything to do with care, but this Newsom is a graduate of the World Economic Forum Young Global Leaders. Don't lose sight of that, just like Trudeau and several others, but evidently this act is being pushed. It's SB 245, and basically making it free to kill babies. Absolutely shocking. All right. Now here's one for you for the record books. This nuke deal with Iran, you remember we dropped off a plane load full of money to them during the previous Kenyan administration. Well, that deal is nothing compared to what they're getting today. We are basically in there opening up all the gates, allowing them to have access to everything they need in order to be successful with their nuclear program. And on top of that, we're actually funding them and feeding them, enabling capabilities to get this done through this nuclear deal. So you just can't make this stuff up. Remember, Iran, Turkey, and Russia are three that are very prominent in the Gog-Magog Ezekiel 38 war. These guys aren't going anywhere. So regardless of what we do, you're probably not going to see any change. So this is probably why they come into power and have the ability to do what they do, because the U.S. has been enabling them. So, all right. Now, last up, let's just keep an eye on weather stuff like volcanic ash. This is kind of an interesting deal. This is the tall volcano in the Philippines. It's now raised to a level 3 alert. This bad dude goes off. It throws a lot of stuff into the atmosphere. And so we do still have about 40 plus volcanoes that are active around the world. On any given day, we have anywhere from 7 to 9 of them spewing ash. And now the ash is what's going to do all the game changing, right? Because that gets up into our atmosphere. You can't fly in that stuff. It cools climates. And so if you think we had food shortages before, you get a couple of these going off and you got calamity on the planet. So, and that's going to do it. You guys be safe out there. Stay frosty. Keep that powder dry. God bless. Monkey out. Check out the latest gear and products at monkeywerxus.com.